Well, did you like the story, Are You My Mother? That was a funny story, wasn't it? I loved that story when I was a little girl, and it reminded me of another story, especially when it talked about the boat. So I thought I would share you another story that I used to read when I was a little girl. Here's the story of Scuffy the tugboat. This is another story that is a very, very old story, but it's a nice new book that I bought. I found it in the shop, and I wanted to have it so that I could read it to my grandchildren and to you too. Here's Scuffy. Scuffy is a tugboat, and he's on the shelf. Scuffy was sad. Scuffy was cross. Scuffy sniffed his blue smokestack. A toy store is no place for a red-painted tugboat, said Scuffy, and he sniffed his blue smokestack again. I was meant for bigger things. Perhaps you would not be cross if you went sailing, said the man with the polka dot tie who owned the shop. So one night he took Scuffy home to his little boy. He filled the bathtub with water. Sail, little tugboat, said the little boy. I won't sail in a bathtub, said Scuffy. A tub is no place for a red-painted tugboat. I was meant for bigger things. The next day, the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy carried Scuffy to a laughing brook. It's a little stream that started high in the hills. Sail, little tugboat, said the man with the polka dot tie. There he is. There's the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy. They've gone up into the hills, and they let the little tugboat sail in the stream. It was springtime, and the stream was full to the brim with water. And the water moved in a hurry, as all things do move in a hurry when it's springtime. Scuffy was in a hurry too. Come back, little tugboat, come back, cried the little boy, as the hurrying, brimful stream carried Scuffy downstream. Not I, scoffed Scuffy, not I. This is the life for me. Oh, Scuffy's gone down the stream. All that day, Scuffy sailed along with the stream, past the meadows filled with cowslips and buttercups, past the women washing clothes on the bank. Well, this is an old story, isn't it? Past the little woods filled with violets. Cows came to the stream to drink. Scuffy managed to sail around their legs and bumped softly into their noses. It was fun watching them drink. But when a brown and white cow almost drank Scuffy instead of the stream's cool water, Scuffy was frightened. That was not fun. Night came, and so did the moon. There was nothing to see but the quiet trees. Suddenly an owl called. Maybe it was a moorpork that would have gone. Moorpork, moorpork. Toot, toot, cried the frightened tugboat, and he wished he could see the smiling face of the man with the polka dot tie. When morning came, Scuffy was cross instead of frightened. I was meant for bigger things, but which way am I to go? He said. There's only one way to go, and that was with the running water where the two streams met to form a small river. And with the river sailed Scuffy, the red-painted tugboat. He was proud when he sailed past villages. People build villages at the edge of my river, said Scuffy, and he straightened up his blue smokestack. Once, Scuffy's river joined a small one jammed with logs. There were men in heavy jackets and great boots walking about on the floating logs, trying to pry them free. "Toot, toot, let me through," demanded Scuffy, but the men paid no attention to him. They pushed the logs apart so that they would drift with the river to the sawmill in the town. Scuffy bumped along with the jostling logs. "Ouch!" he cried as two logs bumped together. "This is a fine river," said Scuffy, "but it's very busy and it's very big for me." Oh, can you see Scuffy? I can't even see him. He was proud when he sailed under the bridge. Ah, there he is down there. "My river is so wide and so deep that people have to build bridges to get across it." The river moved through big towns now instead of villages. And the bridges that went over it were very wide. Wide enough so that many cars and trucks could cross it all at once. And some buses. The river got deeper and deeper. The river got deeper and deeper. Scuffy did not have to tuck up his bottom. The river moved faster and faster. "I feel like a train instead of a tugboat," said Scuffy as he was hurried along. He was proud when he passed the old sawmill with its water wheel. You see the water wheel there? The logs. But high in the hills and mountains, the winter snow was melting. Water filled the streams and rushed from these into the small rivers. Faster and faster it flowed to the great river where Scuffy sailed. "There is too much water in this river," said Scuffy as he pitched and tossed on the waves. "Soon it will splash over the top and there will be a flood." Soon great armies of men came to save the fields and towns from the rushing waves. Oh, there they all are, putting sandbags on the edge. And look at that cow and the lady on the top of the roof. Saw that on the news recently. They filled bags with sand and put them at the edge of the river. "They're making higher banks for the river," shouted Scuffy, "to hold the water back." The water rose higher and higher. Oh, look at the pigs and the cat in the tree. At last, the water rose no more. The flood water rushed on to the sea. Scuffy raced along with the flood. The people and the fields and the towns were safe. But what about Scuffy? On went the river to the sea. At last, Scuffy sailed into a big city. There's Scuffy down there. Here the river widened, and everywhere there were docks and wharves. It was a big place and a noisy place. The cranes groaned as they swung the cargoes into great ships. The porters shouted as they carried suitcases and boxes on board. Horses stamped and truck motors roared. Streetcars clanged and people shouted. Scuffy said, "Toot, toot," but nobody noticed. Nobody could even hear him. It was so noisy. Oh, looks like somebody's on the port. I wonder who that is. I wonder who that's down there. Oh, cried Scuffy when he saw the sea. "There is no beginning and no end to the sea. I wish I could find the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy." There he is out of the ocean, feeling very alone, just as the little red painted tugboat sailed past the last piece of land. Something happened. A hand reached out and picked him up, and there was the man with the polka dot tie and his little boy. Yay! Just in time, he's saved. Wow. Now, Scuffy is at home now with the man and with the polka dot tie and his little boy. He sails from one end of the bathtub to the other. This is the place for a red painted tugboat, said Scuffy, and this is the life for me. So he likes being in the bath now.